the military. At that time, the captain came online and said, everybody who's not ship's company, get off, because we're pulling out. Apparently, the terrorists did not know that had they done their homework better, they could have taken out half of New Jersey had it hit our ship instead of the Twin Towers. Because our ship had over 50 tons of weapons on board that could detonate easily had the planes been aimed for us towards the ships instead of the Twin Towers. But unfortunately for us and for me, that wasn't the case. But as I was leaving the ship, I observed the second plane hit. And I realized there and then that our life would change drastically. And true to form, about 7 years later, I actually went out with the Navy SEALs to Iraq to basically finish off what we started. And the experience was phenomenal. I mean, if you thought you had it hard here, guys, wait till you come to a nation that has nothing. No running water, no nothing. And I was with these SEALs, and we're based out of Coronado, California. If you've ever been there, it's like paradise on earth. You know, the Hotel del Coronado is this immaculate hotel where Marilyn Monroe, takes some of her most famous films. If you ever have time, go to Netflix or to Redbox and check out the movie Some Like It Hot. Her movie was actually filmed at the Hotel Del. So imagine this pristine paradise that we all came from, and then all of a sudden we got to Iraq, and basically the hatch of the plane drops, and it was just dark. It's like hell on earth. We saw flickering in the distance some lights as far as the lamps, the oil refineries being burned, but beyond that it was dark. So this is the environment that we had to work under while I was in the military. But I take from that the adversity that one learned. Through adversity, you become stronger. So the other point I wanted to remind you of is, even though sometimes you go through life and you're like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here, I'm supposed to do this, always remember it's making you go to a higher plane, a better plane. So endure it, learn from it, and become better, all right? Like that whole turtle. So after military service, I came back, and fortunately for me, what happened was I served in New Jersey, I served in Japan. So the Navy said, you know what, you gave 2 very hard tours for our military. We'll send you anywhere in the world you want to go. So I said I want to go to California, because therein lies my long plan, was to run for office. So I got myself to California, served with the Navy SEALs. Then in 2008, I got active duty. I moved up to Garden Grove, opened my own law firm, and then I ran for office in 2010. Now, I didn't have a lot of money. It was basically a matter of, wanting to show that you can still win an election without money. Garden Grove is actually 180,000 people. It's not a small city. It's actually ranked as the 134th largest city in the United States, and the 5th largest in Orange County. What I did do was I had $5,000 to my name, and I had a lot of walking ability. So I basically put on the shoes and walked for 10 months. Every day, I would go and knock on doors, and sometimes I was greeted with laughter, sometimes I was greeted with snide remarks. I still remember this one gentleman, his name's Mr. Miller. I walked up to him, he was sitting there in his rocking chair. I said, Mr. Miller, can I ask for your vote? He's like, no. I'm like, why not? It's like, you're Vietnamese. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, you're all over the place. Your people's all over the city. I'm not voting for you. I'm like, sir, you haven't even read my flyer yet. It's like, no, I'm not voting for you. As you go through life, realize that there are Mr. Millers of the world out there. Recently, you probably heard with the Clippers and what they're going through with their owner. Always realize that there's always forces that will try to drag and break you down. Don't let it, all right? Be strong, overcome it, all right? So I took Mr. Miller's, snide comments to me, or his rejection of my hopes and dreams, and made it stronger. The next day, instead of walking only 50 homes, I try to walk 75 homes. And that's how you make up the difference. You try to build on the positives when you encounter any negatives. So after walking for 10 months, I was blessed to have the blessings of our Garden Grove City residents, and I was elected to the City Council. So it does work out, guys, when you really put your heart and soul to it. So as we're walking through this discourse here, I want to just bring a few points to you to take home. If you don't remember anything else I want to talk about tonight, Remember about the pull turtle. Remember about always doing what you love, all right? Because if you do what you love, you will never have to work a day in your life. You may have heard this before, but let me tell you why. Do you guys know a guy named John Hines? Victoria, you can't say who this person is. You've heard him already. John Hines. Does anyone know who John Hines is? All right. Does anyone eat ketchup? Who here eats ketchup? All right. Who here eats the Heinz Company ketchup? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? If you look at the back of the Heinz ketchup label, Mr. John Hines has a very awesome saying. He says that you do a common thing uncommonly well, it will bring you success. You think about it, it's true, right? Frick, you made ketchup, and he's a multi-billionaire, you know? So take that point home with you. You know, we're in a culture, I think, where a lot of our parents expect us to be doctors, engineers, you know, some of the professions that are well known. I say that's fine, that's great. But if you have a passion for something, do it, you know? There's so much out there for you to grow and to learn and to do. Don't be confined to the stereotypical expectations of what our parents or our culture expects us to do, right? Nobody told me when I was a child that I was going to serve in the United States Navy. Nobody told me as a child that I was going to walk for 10 months, get chased by pit bulls, and try to get elected to the Garden Grove City Council. But you got to take that leap of faith. Because if you believe in yourself, you got to do it. My wife, I got to tell you, she and I were a little different. I met her through a friend in the military, and she's the youngest daughter in the family, and I'm the oldest son. So we have sometimes that conflict of like, what do we want to do? As I'm sure some of you would probably agree with me, comfort is a good thing, right? Having that personal security, that financial stability, it's a good thing, right? And that's what my wife wants too. But I beg and plead to her, I said, honey, if it's meant for me to run for office and to do well to serve our community, let me try it. What would Michael Jordan have done if his dad says, you know, kid, basketball sucks. You can't make a living out of it. Don't be a part of that stupid game. Or Peyton Manning, you know, if his dad, Archie, said, you know, son, it's not worth it. Come on, pigskin around, what the heck? You know? Don't let the naysayers break you down, all right? Do what you love, and you'll be great. I promise you, all right? As for me, my next venture in life will be basically to start a family here in June. And then the reason why in June, guys, it's all about planning too. Because apparently in June, I find out if the current supervisor for Orange County is going to win her seat for the state senate or not. And my goal is to actually run for her seat and become the next Orange County supervisor. So that's the reason why. So I'm planning with my wife. I said in June, if we start trying then in March the child's born. So that way that would clear us through the election cycle. I'm not your freaking campaign plan. But yeah, guys, I just come here because I want to make sure that I have a chance to speak with you all and tell you guys that, you know what, we do have, enough to go fight. No doubt about it. But you know what? It's worth it because there's a lot of people who've been there before us. We have people like John who supports us. We have people who understand the plight that we have to go through. So don't worry about the barriers to overcome. Just do it. All right. And when you do it, you'll find that in the end, the effort it takes to get there is actually not as bad as you think. All right. So if nothing else that I tell you tonight, remember those 2 points. Be that filter, and then also remember, do what you love. All right? Before I let you go for the day, I want to show you a couple more links here just to show you a little bit about my life. My wife, her name is Cindy, and let's see here, how about that? Let's see. And I want to share with you what I did to her on my induction night. And the reason why I tell you this is I want to remind you too that no matter how far you get in life, it's all about your family. If you don't have the love and support of your family, when in the final act, nothing really matters. So I surprised her, but I'm glad she said what she said.
This is Artie New with the Garden Grove TV3 News Report.
I, Chris Phan, I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
It's official. Christopher Phan is the newest member of the Garden Grove City Council.
Congratulations. Thank you, Ms. Phan.
After he settled in